Hey everybody, it is Liz with Liz Art Finds, and today I am actually in my childhood bedroom in Rhode Island. So I am recording this video from the road, so it's gonna be a little bit different. I had to buy a ring light setup thing, and the only way that it works is if I sit on the floor. So I cleaned off some shelves, I put some of the haul up on the shelves, and we are gonna have some fun going through all the things. And sneak peek for next week, I went to an antique mall yesterday and it's not going to fit into this video. So that will be next week's video. So this week is all the stuff I got up before yesterday in the past week. Some thrifting back in Virginia and a little bit of thrifting actually in New Hampshire and a little bit of thrifting in Rhode Island. So things from all over. And we will go through them. So I don't have any big announcements other than welcome to our new subscribers. I think we have 13 or 14 new subscribers. So we did hit our 200 mark. So that's cool. I think we're at 213 now. Yay. So welcome everybody for joining us. And I apologize for the weirder than usual ring light reflection. This thing I bought is weird. Anyway, let me get into the haul because we got some cool stuff, and the things that I will explain more about are at the back end. Some of the front end things I don't have a lot of information on, so let's just kind of run through them. So this is back when I was in Virginia. I found this glass bird with controlled bubbles. It's got really pretty, I don't know if you'll be able to see them, darn it. Some really pretty bubbles that are controlled. I don't have much information on him yet. I think I paid $1.99. I think 8 to 12 is reasonable for him. I don't think he's anything super special. He does have a clear bottom, but I don't think he's by like anybody famous or anything. So I don't know yet, but I think 8 to 12 is a good estimate. It could be more, but I don't think it's less than that. So that's cool. Then I found this big, heavy, this big heavy yellow bird. He's heavy. And I don't know much about him either. I did find some similars online. I didn't find any that look exactly like this. It's not signed, but you can see that it had a sticker at the bottom at one point. And you know, it's blown glass because there is a hole in the bottom and it is ground at the bottom. I just don't have more info on him yet. I do think the ones that I'm seeing are 25 to 45. I think 25 is a reasonable amount, and I paid $1.99 for him. He's really pretty. He's yellow, and he's actually got his wings kind of in black, and there's like a black area by the tail and black area by the neck. So kind of cool. So I was excited about him. He was just kind of sitting there for $1.99. And then the other thing I found at this store is this little glass cat on a mirror. Now he's not stuck to the mirror anymore. He was when I bought him. And then I washed him in very, very hot water, and he's not stuck to the mirror anymore. So I'm trying to decide if I want to glue him down or if maybe he wasn't supposed to be attached to the mirror in the first place. Anyway, I found one online that is the exact same cat without the heart and without the mirror, and he sold for $23. So this one has a heart and it has a little mirror base, and the base does say Glass Baron on it. So I think it'll be a little bit more. You know, I paid $3.99 for him. But cats seem to be, I seem to be doing really well with cats these days. So I was pretty confident that $3.99, I could still pick him up. So I picked him up. I don't know if he's really going to be $23, but I think if one did sell recently for that, I think that's reasonable, right? So, okay, then the next place I went was actually in New Hampshire. So we drove up from, or I drove up from Rhode Island. No, I drove up from, from Virginia, from my house to my mom's house, this house in Rhode Island. I drove up last Saturday for Mom's birthday, and my brother lives in New Hampshire, so we drove up there on last Saturday. Actually, no, Sunday. I drove up here Saturday. We drove up there on Sunday. We had a wonderful dinner at a restaurant overlooking the water in Agunquit, Maine. I think it was called, ooh, I want to say Castle on the Hill. I'm not sure that's the right name, but it was a beautiful patio that overlooked the water, and the sun was setting, and it was phenomenal. The sun was setting the other way, but anyway, it was amazing. And then we stayed overnight in Agunquit on Sunday night. Mom's birthday was Sunday. So my mom just turned 87 years old. She's amazing. So we went and spent the day in Agunquit, had a beautiful, the sunrise that morning out our balcony. We were on the water. It was amazing. Spent the day in Agunquit, and on the way back, long story short here, not so short, I went to a thrift store. So I found one little thing. Actually, we went to a lot of thrift stores and really found a lot of nothing. This is a Side and Stricker fused glass bowl. It's a small bowl. It's got the ruffle rim. It's pansy, and it is actually signed Side and Stricker on the back. You may not be able to. It's etched into the glass here. It's very hard to see, but it's actually a really nice one. There's not a ton of bubbles in this. It's a similar production style as Peggy Car glass, which I've talked about a lot. But there's little bubbles, but it's not very bubbly. It's a really nice one. These don't sell for a ton. I get them because I like them. I picked it up for $5, and they typically sell for double that, so 9 to 12 on this size. I'll probably be able to get the 12, but you probably want to pick these up if you see them around $1 or $2, not necessarily around $5. Gosh, this is a weird angle, isn't it? Anyway, Side and Stricker. So I picked that one up in New Hampshire, and then we came back to Rhode Island on Tuesday, and I did some thrifting around here, here being where my mom lives. I've been hanging out here for a few days. So I'm going to show you my favorite thing first. You'll laugh. It's a tie-dye. Check this thing out. It is so well made. Look at this thing. It is phenomenal. And there's no maker on it, which is really sad. I couldn't find the maker. This is clearly not just a kid in his backyard, just mixing some bottles. This is clearly someone who was making and selling tie-dye shirts. This is a women's medium. I believe it's a woman's. When I put this on, it's long. It's almost like a short dress or a beach cover-up. It's super soft. The brand on it is Fruit of the Loom Eversoft. So it's just a super soft t-shirt. It could be a men's. I say it's women's just because of the way the sleeves are set, but I could be wrong. It could be a men's shirt. It is a medium. It is long, but it's amazing. I paid $3.50 for it because it was half price that day. And I think these things, when I scan this in and I look at them on, or similars on that come up, they're selling around 25 to 40. It is clearly a well-made shirt. Again, not just by somebody. It's an artist. So I love that. I was so excited when I found it because, it's not the kind of thing you normally see. I also picked up this men's shirt. It's Key West. It still has its original tags. It's Hard Rock Cafe, but look at the graphic on the back. It's kind of like the Jimmy Buffett shirts, the Jimmy Buffett graphic tees, which were really popular. And this is in excellent condition. It hasn't been worn. It's new with tags, like I said, so like new old stock. So I was pretty excited about it. Let me see. I spent $3.99 on that shirt. They sell 18 to 25, new with tags, the new old stock. So I'm cool with that. Then I just picked up a couple glass pieces. I mean, there really wasn't much, and I wanted to make sure I had enough to show you guys. And then, of course, the next day I found a whole bunch of stuff. But this particular day, I just picked up this little, basically blue glass dish. It's really not a lot of something. I paid $1.50 for it. I was thinking 8 to 12 on it. I did see some that sold around 20 that are similar. I didn't see this exact thing. It's not signed anywhere. I don't know who made it, but I think I can get more than $1.50 for that. And then the other one I picked up, I'm kind of less excited about. Reminds me of something that I did like in my fused glass classes. This is just a small fused glass trinket dish with some color tiles at the bottom. I do believe this is amateur. It's got a lot of bubbles in it, like a lot of bubbles. But you know, it was like $1.50 and I just brought it home. It's not signed anywhere. So anyway, that was because I was feeling like I need to pick up some stuff to show you guys. But then the next day I went out and they had a ton of donations. Like the day that I was there first, there was a guy unloading a U-Haul like box truck, and he was bringing in bag after bag after bag after bag. It was just amazing. This was at a Savers. And it was incredible. So it's like, okay, the next day I got to go back because boy, that was a lot of bags. I got to see what was in them, right? So I'm glad I did. All right, ready? I got a lot of good stuff. This, check out this vase. So it graduates or gradiates or whatever. Its the bottom is light, the top is dark orange, and it kind of graduates in color all the way up. It is iridescent, so kind of carnival, well, it is carnival glass. You probably may not be able to see this with the way the ring light is, but it is carnival glass. This is actually it's called the Imperial, so it's Imperial Glass is the maker on this. They consider it swung, so I guess to get the top to look like this while it's still hot, they do this kind of thing, and it makes things come up. It's very controlled swung, so I'm not sure if it was like maybe pulled rather than swung, but it's called the Imperial Swung Ripple Iridescent, well, I don't know, that's just what somebody called it online. Ripple Iridescent Clear Marigold Carnival Glass Vase, 1960s to 1970s. And it's like the ripple that goes from clear to marigold, or, you know, it just kind of, the ombre effect all the way up and down. It's amazing. So it's tall. I don't have a ruler up here, but it is next to my head, like it's tall. It's amazing. I paid $4.39 for it. The last one sold that I found online sold for $75. I do see things in the 40s. I see things above 70s. I'm just going by the last one that sold on eBay, sold for $75, and it was this exact vase. So that was exciting. Then I found this cat vase. I'll have to do another cat sale at some point. This cat vase, and it's a vase. And this one is Bella Casa by Gans. Oopsie, oh boy, oh. There you go, Bella Casa by Gans. It's not signed. There were some of these that were a collaboration with the various artists where the artist actually signed the bottom. This one is not signed. But Gans, I actually wrote down some stuff about Gans here. They were a company, I think in Canada. And the company was established in 1950, privately held. And then, let's see, shortly after World War II, Samuel Gans made his way to New York City while his sons, Sam and Jack, settled in Toronto. On one of his visits to see them, Samuel brought along a doll he had seen produced in New York. After making a few contacts and holding discussions, they started a company called Gans Toys. And they became a premier toy company in Canada, producing high-quality goods following high safety standards. I'm literally reading from the website. When Howard joined the company, this became the third generation of the family. They continued to grow, and they dropped the toys and just called it GANs. And at that point, they started establishing things that were not toys. So they had a giftware collection, tabletop accents, candles, personal care, etc. They had garden decor. They had all different divisions. So Bella Casa by GANs, that is what this is. So it is part of that division that did the tableware that was called Bella Casa. So it was, you know, tabletop accents. This would fall into that as a vase or giftware. So 1980s and 1990s is when Bella Casa by GANs was operational. So these cat vases were made in different designs. And this is one of them. So I paid $6.79 for him. They don't sell for a ton. They sell in the $15 to $25 range, but he's in really, really good condition and he's adorable. And so I picked him up. Okay. And then I picked up another carnival glass dish. It was just too pretty to leave in the store. So this one, the color is so vibrant, and again, really hard to see with the ring light. Someday I will set up lighting where I have lights on both sides and I don't need this light in my eyes. But anyway, I did some research on the design itself. You can see that design right there. And it was called the Twins. Let's see, I wrote this down too. Did I write this down? Ooh, maybe I didn't write this down. Oh, I wrote it on the spreadsheet. Hang on one sec. Carnival dish, small marigold orange. It was called the Twins pattern because the two different pieces, the circles here, and then this imperial thing that came up between them. It actually kind of looks like an owl when you look at it that way, doesn't it? And then also it says the Twins pattern is sometimes called horseshoe curve. This was, I think, imperial glass. Yeah, imperial glass on this one, I think, from the research I've done so far. But it was just really pretty. And I paid $3.99 for it. The prices of these are all over the place. Some of them come with bases, and then there's some that are mismatched. So I was finding things with like this thing on a base from a different design. So you see just the bowl, you'll see just the base, you'll see them paired together. The base was like a pedestal. So it was just a tall column that had like this on the bottom, basically, similar. So you see all kinds of different variations with this, and the prices are all over the place. So I was seeing things as low as 15 and as high as 65 to 69 and up. You know, seeing 40s and 30s and 20s and 50s, yeah, basically all over the place. So this is in excellent condition, and I think to the right buyer, it will definitely sell for more than the $3.99 I paid for it. So that was cool. Okay, then you may see this fruit. So I got, and these are not worth much of anything, I found out, but I just thought they were so cool. So there's these glass grapes, and I got a glass banana. And then next week, today I just picked up something for next week that is a glass tomato, but you'll see that one next week. So I don't know. So I bought these for like $3.99 each. I was at some antique malls yesterday and I saw them selling 10 to 12. Some booths had them at 10, some booths had them at 12. So they're not worth a fortune, but they're fun. And, you know, if I paid $3.99 and I sell them for $8 each, I doubled my money, I'm happy. And I think I can do that. I just think they're unique. Even though I saw a ton of them in Rhode Island, I've never seen them in Virginia. So I don't know if there were something that was popular up here or what the deal is. Oops, sorry, I'm trying to put everything back. But yeah, so there was that. Then I found, so this I had seen the day before and I left it because I wasn't sure what it was. It's a console bowl, which I will explain in a minute. The bottom is marked Czechoslovakia. Okay, you can see that. All right, so it just says it in a circle, Czechoslovakia. So this dates it to, I think, pre-1975. or 1972. Ooh, and I'm noticing some damage on this one. Oopsie, like the glass is bubbled a little bit. So this is milk glass, okay? So this is glass. And the reason that I did buy it is the next day when I went back, they had put out the candlesticks, okay? So it's a set of a console bowl and 2 candlesticks, candle holders, and together it's a nice set. I didn't notice the little, like I said, the little damage I just noticed. What I'm noticing, I thought it was just like some paint or something, and it was just scratching it a little bit, and the glass actually flaked off. So it's a little bubble in the glass here. So that's probably going to negatively affect the value a little bit. I paid for the entire set together because I bought them all separately, but the entire set together was $17.57, so it's a lot. The sets I was seeing online are not like that. They're different styles, but the same console bowl and candlesticks from Czechoslovakia. So same time frame, but different a little bit. I was seeing them around 75. I think with the damage on that now, I don't know, 45 to 65 is probably fair. And if it's too bad, I'll just sell the candlesticks separately. But you know, it was so different. Like I just kept thinking about this. I had left this and I just kept thinking about it. And so when I went back the next day and I saw the candlesticks and then the bowl was still there, I'm like, you know what? We'll pick it up. So I did. Then the last thing at this place, you guys are going to laugh, or maybe not. Do you know what this is? Obviously a vase, and obviously it has a little chip. But do you know what this is? How about if I show you the bottom? You know what this is? You're not going to believe it. This is another Batosi vase. I've gotten it confirmed. So I suspected it because it had on the bottom that it was imported by Rosenthal Netter. And I know that Rosenthal Netter imported a lot of Batosi. I'm going to actually read you guys a little bit. I don't know if I did this on one of the last 2 Batosi things. I don't think I did. So they're a Italian ceramics manufacturer. I think I did say that. They started in the second half of the 19th century in the Montelupo Fiorentino area in Tuscany. The Batosi factory today is called Batosi Ceramiche for ceramic. It's belonged to the same family for 5 generations and has been located in the same area since 1921. The earliest examples produced until 1950s have a letter B on the bottom. So this is after that. From the 50s to 70s, the company's products were marked in several ways, usually incorporating a handwritten design number and made in Italy or just Italy. Now, this is, unfortunately, the Italy is underneath where it says Rosenthal Netter. It's underneath the stamp. It does have, you see how it says 93? You may not be able to see that. So it's 93 and then slash and then another number. So this is pattern design number 93. It doesn't have a name. I've talked to or communicated with people in the Batosi group on Facebook. There is someone in there who actually still lives in Italy, and she is very, very familiar with the pieces. They have albums there of pretty much all the designs, and they are numbered. And you can go onto this Facebook group. It's like Batosi MCM Ceramics. It's not the one that they buy and sell. It's the one where they just learn about stuff. And the albums there are phenomenal. You could spend days just going through, you know, I think the first album is like designs number 40 to 199. And you just scroll through and look at all the different pieces, different styles that have the design. And this one, the design is there, but they don't actually have this little vase, which is kind of cool. This particular one, it looks like there's glue around the bottom, like maybe somebody had put some felt on it and then taken it off. So I paid, let's see if I can find that. Oh, I didn't finish my little description here. So Rosenthal Netter, so that thing that says on the bottom that where it says Rosenthal Netter. I think I mentioned earlier they were an importer, and there were like two. There was another one, it was Raymore, I think, and Rosenthal Netter is the other one, and they were like competing U.S. importers, like they were U.S. companies that imported things from Italy during mid-century, 50s, 60s, 70s, when Italian design was very, very popular here. So it's another Batosi. It's my third one, y'all, in a very short period of time. It's kind of mind-boggling. So I paid $2.81 for this Batosi vase that was hidden behind a lot of glass stuff. I don't know the value of this because I don't know how rare it is. I want to say this size piece from Batosi is like 35 to 85. I don't know how popular this is. I don't know how rare this is. I probably will price it around the 85 mark and see what happens and drop the price if I need to. It also does have a little chip at the top, so that would detract a little bit. But what I learned from my last vase was people that are interested in preserving the history and that collect Batosi, they don't mind the chips. And there's actually a little putty that you can get that they fill in the little chips with, and then they just use acrylic paints and paint over it so that you can't even see the damage. So there's people doing restorations to the Batosi. So anyway, third Batosi, kind of cool. I'm not going to put it back behind me. I'm just going to put it over on a little table over here. All right, so then I've got one more stop that I went to, and this was on the 6th. This particular place had closed. They were doing some renovations, and they had closed. They were closed Tuesday and Wednesdays, so I went back Thursday because I knew they were open. As I drove up, you're not going to believe this, okay? I got 3 pieces there, just 3. Let me move the cat so I don't bang things. And you're probably seeing, can you see it? You can see it. Huh. All right, I'm going to move that down. We'll get to that one next. Y'all know what this is, right? So I saw this in the window, and I'm like, no way. No way. And I ran in to make sure nobody else got it before me. But there weren't too many people that cared too much about a Blenko water bottle. The people that were there were more interested in clothing. I couldn't believe it. And this is I'm not sure the color. It's like a light purple. It's hard for you guys to see. It's a very light purple. I don't know if it's like the lilac or lavender or what the actual color is yet, or orchid. There's a lot of different colors. So I got to get that figured out, and that will help determine price. I paid $3.99 for it. The least it'll sell for is $35. They can go to $55 for some of the plain ones, and then some of the more exotic ones. I don't know if you've seen some of the stuff they're producing now with all kinds of colors and sparkles, like just the one there. I just saw one that was selling for $255. It was a very unique piece. And they do limited runs of their colors and of their styles and whatnot. So Blenko is a U.S. glass manufacturer. They're in West Virginia. If you follow Dagny at all, she's Flying Pig Thrifts, I think is her channel. She recently did a video that was like a tour of the Blenko glass factory, and she actually recorded as she walked through, and it was so cool. So if you have a chance to find her and watch that, if you haven't already, that was worth watching. It was really, really cool. So anyway, this is a Blenko water bottle. Blenko, the glass company, has been family owned and operated since 1893. They're in West Virginia, Milton, West Virginia. They've been there since 1921. And they basically do all kinds of beautiful tableware, decorative glassware, all hand blown, handcrafted. What's really cool is on the Blenko website, they have all their catalogs. They have the PDFs, and you can go back to the 50s and 60s, and you can go and look through if you want to research different things and when they were made, and just get an idea of all the things that Blenko designed. That one is, their website's worth looking at, and it's Blenko, Blenko glass. So that's cool. I found 2 more things at this last thrift that I'm going to share with you, and then we will be done for today. I think I actually missed one. I see this little picture. This is not one of the things, I don't think. Nope, I found this earlier and I forgot to share it. So I found this little yellow glass pitcher at one of the other stops. I think what I did was I wrote it in between the two. When I did my spreadsheet, I put it in between the glass. It was like these and the console bowl. And so I missed it when I was showing you guys. But it's just a little crackle pitcher in yellow. I picked it up because I'm doing a glass, part of the glass train, the rainbow colorful carnival glass thing on the 22nd. And I didn't have yellow. So I needed something yellow because I want to do red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. And then possibly some things that have all of them in it. I've got a couple rainbow things I'm thinking about. But anyway, that one I paid $3.19 for. They go actually 12 to 18. I would have said 10 to 12, but when I did some research, I'm finding them around 12 to 18. So that was kind of cool. All right, 2 more things to share. We're going to do the Marquis by Waterford perfume bottle first. Now this was in the same place as the Blenko glass. This is a heart-shaped perfume bottle, and it's got little embossed hearts on both sides, or etched, I guess I should say. And it's got a beautiful stopper, and it's in perfect condition. And on the bottom, it's signed or stamped, etched. It says Marquis by Waterford. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not, but it does say that. I didn't see that. I mean, it's really hard to see unless you know what you're looking for. And when I did the Google Lens of this bottle, it came up Marquis by Waterford and it said signed. So I'm like, okay. And then sure enough, there it was. So anyway, let's see one more time if you can see it. I put it on the top now. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it or not. Anyway, not a huge, you know, Waterford itself, if it's pure Waterford, they sell really well. The Marquis by Waterford is, it seems like a slightly lower end, in that the prices of what I find from Marquis are a little bit lower. I paid $2.99 for this beautiful glass water bottle, crystal, I should say, water bottle. And the last one sold for $48, which actually surprised me. It's actually cut. That's interesting. You can actually feel it a little bit at the top here. But it's not broken. It's awesome. So anyway, I picked this up because I have my next sale I'm going to do. I don't have a date yet. I thought I was going to do it this coming Thursday, but I'm heading back tomorrow to Virginia and I just don't think I'm going to have time. So sometime in the week or so after that, I will get a heart themed sale that I'm going to call Summer 11, and I will have, everything will have hearts either on it or they'll be heart shaped. I picked up some things that I'm going to show you next week. I got 3 more hearts for the sale and they're awesome. So that will be for that. And then the last piece I found blew my mind. Again, this was at, I think this was at the same place as Blenko, which I believe was a thrift store. Small thrift store. So when I picked this up, oh, it's gonna be so hard to see. It's Submerso, so it's got like color and color, and it's a vase. And when I picked it up, I'm like, oh, it must be Chinese glass. But I could sort of see there might be a signature on the bottom. Let's see, it's upside down. So I actually got it. Let's see, you might actually be able to see this one. It's etched in the glass. It's at the top of the circle, but you can see that there's a signature there. It's kind of blurry, but it is, it's very faint. But when I found it online, I found one just like it, and it said the maker, and then it explained how it was signed. And I'm like, well, what do you know? That's exactly what this is. So I've identified it. So this is Swedish glass. Okay. The artist was called Gunnar Nylund, Nylund. And let's see if we can, aha, you'll be able to see this better now. Look at that. Okay, I don't want it to fall here. It's sliding in my hand. I'm not sure how to do this, but anyway, you get the idea. It's like this tannish kind of color inside. It's Sommerso in a beautiful clear glass base. The top of it is a little imperfect, which is why I was like, well, it's not Murano. At least I didn't think it was Murano. And Swedish makes sense. So anyway, the artist is Gunnar Nyland, and he designed glass in the 1950s to 1970s for the, I'm not going to be able to say this, Stromberg-Scheitan Company. The artworks were crafted by hand, often with organic forms and modern expression. Gunnar Nyland, 1904 to 1997, is mostly known as a ceramic designer for Rörstrand, but in 1953 to 1956, he also designed glass for this Swedish I can't say it, company. The artworks were crafted by hand. Again, I mentioned organic forms, yada, yada. In the late 1960s, he returned to the glassworks as a freelance designer for a few years. So I'm not sure if this was 53 to 56 or 60s, but it was definitely mid-century by this Swedish designer. And it says most popular among contemporary collectors are the vases created by the Sommerso technique. These elegant pieces have a colored inner layer and a clear outer layer. They're engraved on the lower side with the model number, for example, B773, and glassworks, and then it says either Stromberg or Stromberg-Scheitan. And this indeed says Stromberg-Scheitan, and it has a B, and it has a number, and I'll figure that out when I get home and I get my loop and I can actually see what the number is. So I was so excited when I figured that out. I paid $6.99 for it. I did not figure it out at the store, but I did figure out that it was something special. And these are the last sold. I'm seeing 45 to 60, but the listeds on these are upwards. I'm seeing listings up to $220. So I think some of that is probably for larger pieces. I think this is one of the smaller pieces, but it's a beautiful piece of glass. And I was really excited to find it for $6.99. So my total spend of everything I showed you today was $84.24. The very, very, very conservative estimate here is like $495, probably a little more than $500 if if I'm not quite as conservative. It was like 5.9 times, so close to that 6x if you divide it out. So $85 or $84 into $500, $495, I'm happy with. I think it was a good week. I'm really excited about this vase, even though it's not like my personal style. I'm really excited about the Potosi, but I'm not going to do another thumbnail that says, oh, I found another Potosi. And my tie-dye is exciting. The Blenko, I think, is the really, really special thing that I haven't ever found before. So anyway, that's my video for today. Thank you all for joining me. I will see you all next week, and I'll give you I'm going to give you one little sneak peek. That's for next week. I found a Murano paperweight, which I was so excited about. So I'll show that to you next week, along with a bunch of other things equally as nice that I got some from an antique mall that I went to. And then hopefully we'll find a few more things before next week. And yeah, that's all. So I will announce my next live sale once I have it dated. I know I have one on the 22nd, but I know I'm going to do one before that. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a fabulous week. I appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see y'all soon. Bye.